Mind the crazy here, it's life. So, y'all had asked me on one of my social medias if we were still experiencing any paranormal activity, because a lot of you have watched those videos and there was a lot more stuff that I had not put in there, so I'm gonna add a little bit more, and I'm just gonna recap for the people that did not watch that video or don't know what I'm talking about. So in 2015, just a rundown version, we'll give the cliff notes really quickly. I purchased a house. I did not get to see it. My mom was the one that purchased it, and it was my forever home. So she ended up purchasing it. I did not get to go with her and the realtor because I was working that day, and I did not get to see the house at all. So the first time I got to see the house is the day they closed. Me and my mom had this idea because the weather was really bad and there was no way I could get up the ramp at our old house because it had snowed. So we decided that I would spend the night. So I spent the night on an air mattress. Things started happening. I started hearing like a heavy-set man is what it sounded like in the attic. Things would fall. Things would go boom. We would hear giggling. We would hear a baby cry. We would hear a lot of things. And this has continued off and on. It gets really worse around September, October. And when it does, I just pray about it and go on. But so the other day, I was working and I was not paying attention, okay, to anything else but work. I didn't stop. I didn't take a lunch. I was just working straight through. The only things I did do was go to the bathroom on my breaks. So I happened to look because I thought somebody was at the front door. And I see like this shadow and I'm like, okay, so I go, I put myself on break, nobody's there. I hear a knock on the door. This is what prompted me to go out. And none of my other neighbors, because they worked during the day, were at their house that I could see. So I was like, that's weird. So I hear it again and I open the door and nobody's there. It's like a real bang. And then like in my bathroom, things had fallen off the shelf right as I opened the door. So I was like, okay, this is kind of weird, you know. So I immediately looked around the house and I was like, okay, hey boss, I think somebody's trying to break in, is what I said. I said, I think somebody's trying to break in. I've had issues with my security system. I'm very, 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 very scared. So I go and look around the house and I come back and nothing's there, but things have fallen off the shelf. So I put it back on and I just keep looking and don't see anything. I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird, but you know, to each his own. So I'm like, okay. So I go throughout the house, I look, and all of a sudden I don't feel anything, but it's like somebody is walking in the attic. So I'm like, okay. So I pray about it and I'm praying and it stops for a little bit and then I hear, hey. And I know I have kids that are neighbors that, you know, live pretty close. So I thought, you know, maybe they were playing. So I kind of peeked out the window and nobody was there. And nobody was riding their scooter. And then I hear, hey. And I'm like, okay, I'll pray about it. You know, I ain't scared. It doesn't scare me as much as it used to, you know. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna move on. So at that point in time, I go on and I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Let's just go on and get out of here. And I was like, okay, it was like 4:30 when this happened. So I'm like, I have a couple hours left in my shift. And I was working till 9, so I didn't think anything of it. I just brushed it off. I went on. And so 2 days later, I am at work. I was having a good day. I was on time. Sorry, my nose just allergies. So then I turn around and I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird to me that this would even be happening. So I go and look through the house again and I don't hear anything. So the other day I am abruptly woken up with somebody saying, hey, and I thought Mom was here, so I called out, hey Mom, how you doing? Nothing. So I go look throughout the house, I pray, I go to work. And I was like, okay, so I hear the knock again. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's the pipe settling, maybe it's something settling like in the house. That's what I tripped it to. So I went back to work and I didn't say anything to anybody, and I was like, okay. So I prayed. And it hasn't happened since, but it has like times when it will try to get our attention. I just pray about it and then it goes away, but I don't know if anybody died in this house. Somebody did ask that question, so I don't know. But they would have told us, I think, if somebody had. But I do know that this house was a rent house for many years, and there was a lot of people that came in and out of it since the original owner died. And I know that this used to be a duplex because when they did remodeling to our house to put in the accessible shower, they did tell us that it used to be my closet used to be a efficiency apartment. Somebody found that out for me and told me, which I think is cool. So it used to be, because there wasn't even a garage to this. This was a duplex, so they added the garage later on. And this is a 1978 house, so. But I love you guys. I'm gonna go get ready for work, do some laundry, and have a good day.